Welcome on into the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. We've got another mid-season review coming up today. We're working our way through every club, and as you can probably already tell, today it is the GWS Giants. We're working our way through each club as it gets to their bye. So we've got 2 this week. We had 4 last week, so go back, check them out. They're already on the channel. As I said, 2 this week. The Giants and the Tigers coming up in a couple days, and then over the rest of the next month, the rest of the clubs will all be out as well. So we're going to go through the season so far, who they've played, whether they've won or lost. We'll look at some team stats, we'll look at individual stats, who's been the best players, all of that stuff, and we'll finish the episode with a look towards the rest of 2026 and what we can expect to see from the Giants in that period. Title of this episode is Have the Giants rebooted their season? And I think that's a valid question based on what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Let's have a look at their season so far. Started opening round against the Hawks, Angie Stadium, and it was a really good win. Obviously down on players due to some season long injuries, which we'll get into a bit later in this episode. But they weren't expected to win that, and they came out and played some really good football, won by 27 points. After that, though, the next 3 weeks were rough. The Doggies at Marvel Stadium, they lost by 81 points. St Kilda, at home, they lost by 4 points. Then they went back to Marvel Stadium and lost to Collingwood by 33 points, went into their early season bye, 1 win, 3 losses, and in a little bit of trouble. They came out of that, and it was going win-loss for the next 6 weeks. Beat Richmond, lost to Sydney. Beat North Melbourne, lost to Gold Coast. Beat Essendon, all of that is predictable kind of results. Beating the lower ranked teams, losing to the higher ranked teams. Until you get to round 10, when they went over to Optus Stadium and lost to West Coast. And that was maybe like the point where a lot of people probably thought that is Giants done for the year, really. At that point, just 6 losses already, 4 wins, and just not playing the best football and losing to a lower ranked team. It wasn't a great sign. But then they turned it around. Absolute domination of Brisbane Lions in round 11. One of the best wins you ever see. That third quarter was scintillating football. Incredible result. They won 78-point winners over Brisbane, who are obviously back-to-back champions. And then, round 12, they head to Alice Springs and beat the Demons, who have had a very good start to the year. They knocked them off by 49 points. Can those 2 wins push them into a massive second half of the year? The last 3 years, they've had really good second half of the years, home and away seasons. So if they can do that again, watch out for this team. You can't write them off just yet. They are missing a lot of players still, but there's enough positive signs there to say maybe they can play finals. We'll see how that goes. Some team stats for the Giants in 2026. First of all, points for, not much difference. Obviously, the AFL average has gone up in scoring this year, which is why they're getting 2 points more per game, but dropped from 5th most in the competition down to 9th. Points against, very similar sort of story. Conceding a bit more, 81 points last year up to 91 now. So that means the difference has dropped from a plus 11 to a plus 3. But they're still the 8th best in the competition in terms of points difference. Setting clearances slightly dropped a little bit, 14th down to 17th. So second worst team in the competition at setting clearances so far this year, in terms of differential at least. The only team worse is Collingwood. Stoppage clearances has slightly increased, minus 0.6 to a plus 0.2, sitting mid-table there. Inside 50 numbers have got better, but overall ranking has dropped. So last year they were giving up 4 more inside 50s to opponents each game, whereas now it's only about -1, 14th best in the competition there. Contested possessions has gone massively up. Last year, they were 14th best in the comp. This year, 6th. So that's a big improvement in contested football. And uncontested football, they've stayed about the same. Pretty high level there. 4th most last year, 5th this year. Shots, They've gone from 11th to 8th, so much the same. Accuracy, they're one of the better teams in front of goal. Fourth best in the competition last year, up to fifth best this year, or down to fifth best. Still over 50%, which is pretty good based on AFL numbers over the last few years. The mark game has gone down massively. Plus 12 last year, second most in the competition, all the way down to -4 this year, and 14th best. So that's a big change there. Tackles, much the same. They're one of the better tackling teams. And intercept game, sitting mid-table again. 8th last year, 7th this year. Not a huge amount of differences, just an increase in contested football. Slight changes elsewhere, like inside 50 numbers. Obviously, that mark game has changed a lot. They're conceding a lot more marks and also not getting as many. But not huge differences in game style or too much there. Moving from team stats, we'll jump into individual players now and season that they've had so far compared to 2025. If you're new around here, we do an All Aussie Rules rating system where we rate 30 different stats for every player every single game, and that gives us a rating. And here is the average rating for 2026. So that's 2026 average. Their position rank so far this year, separated into the position they've played the most so far this year. 2025 rating is obviously the third column, or the fifth column, I guess, technically. And then the final column is the 2025 position rank. Colours and class ratings over in the side there. Elite is your top 10% of each position. Top class is 10 to 25. Above average is 25 down to 40%. Average is 40 to 60. Below average is everyone below 60%. Unranked, if you have not played 5 or more games so far this year. I think that makes sense. Let's jump into it. General defenders first up, and Lockie Ash is the big one. He's their go-to. There's no doubt about it. He was rated top class, 11th best last year. He's moved that up to 5th best general defender so far this year. He's been super. He keeps getting better. There's no reason why he can't be a top 1 or 2 general defender in the competition, especially when he's playing at the Giants. They are a team that relies on this run and carry game and using that to propel their offense. It's been the way they've played the last few seasons. Their general defenders tend to score better than most other teams. Connor Iden, he's gone really well. He's played a bit of key defense as well this year, and obviously general defender as well. It depends on who they want to take those responsibilities in each game. Obviously, they've been missing some key defenders so far this year. Jack Buckley's missed 3 games. Sam Taylor's missed 11. So, Iden, Himmelberg, these sort of players have had to play a bit more key defense than previous seasons. But Connor Iden's still gone up massively. 28th best. Up to 14th, he's having a really good year. The one one player to drop a bit here is Lockie Whitfield. He was top class. He was elite, last year. Dropped down to top class. Still having a very good year. Joe Fonte, he's shown some really good signs this year. He's gone from a below average rating, number 95, best general defender last season. He's currently 30th so far this year. So he's having a really good year. Harry Himmelberg, as we said, has played a bit more key defense this year. So his rating has dropped because of that. James Leake has had a few goes at it. He's pretty lowly ranked at the moment. And Harrison Oliver, just a couple games so far. Key defense, Laverde came across and he's been very important for them. Due to injuries to Buckley and Taylor, he's probably had more of a key role than maybe was expected at this when he was moved across from Essendon. But he's having a really good year. 13th best key defender in the competition. Really solid numbers. Jack Buckley, his rating has dropped a fair bit. Obviously has had some injury concerns. He is not having as good a season as last year or the year before for that fact. But we'll see if he can improve. In the back half, Sam Taylor, he was number 1 last year. He has, up until last weekend, had not played a game. Obviously lowly rated in that one, but did have some more hamstring issues. So hopefully that's not too serious and we'll see him back again soon. But obviously a little bit of a concern, that one. Sam Taylor, number 1 key defender in the competition last year, and currently not really having much of a go at. Moving on to the forwards. Interesting position, the general forward for the Giants. As you can see, most of them last year were not rated as general forwards because they did play a bit more midfield time. Whereas this year they're playing some more general forward time, and once you get to the midfielders, some of them have changed as well. Obviously, due to injuries, their midfield has had to change a fair bit for obvious reasons. Missing Tom Green, missing Josh Kelly. So things have changed around a bit. Some of these players, certainly the top ones, do get some midfield time, plenty of midfield time, but just not as much as they spend as a general forward so far this year. Toby Bedford's the first one, played 8 games. He was pretty lowly rated as an inside mid last year, where he played mostly, well, pretty similar sort of time in each position, but just a bit more midfield last year, whereas this year it's a bit more forward. So far, he's having a good year, 17th best general forward. Phoenix Gothard has been super over the last few weeks. He's been really, really good. First season here. He's played 12 games, so he's played every game and shown some really good signs. Caniglio started well. He's been okay without being super impressive. Xavier O'Halloran played a lot of inside mid last year, outside mid the year before. They've tried him a little bit more forward this year, putting up similar sort of numbers. Callum Brown, his rating has dropped a fair bit from last year. I think he can still turn that around. Toby McMullen, outside mid last year, general forward this year, hasn't set the world on fire in his 5 matches. Harry Ralston, another one whose rating has dropped a fair bit. Only played the 4 games so far, though, so we'll keep an eye on that one. And Josea Delania and Oliver Hannaford have not put up massive numbers so far this year, but 4 games and 5 games respectively. Key forwards, first up, Aaron Cadman is now their number 1 dude up forward. Dude, that's a weird way to say that. Ranked 22nd as a key forward last year. He's currently ranked 5 this year. He's having a super year. His numbers have gone really good. Obviously only played the 7 games, did miss a few through injury. But he is going to be a star, obviously, former number 1 draft pick. And a lot is expected of him, but he's showing some good signs. Jake Stringer has played a bit more key forward this year than he did last year, mainly due to Cadman, Hogan, and the like, having a few injury concerns throughout the year. But he's playing very well. Like, his numbers are super compared to last year. It is contract year Stringer, and contract year Stringer has come to play again, so he's been very, very good so far this year. Their second best forward so far this year, behind Cadman. Probably the best when you consider that he's played every game. Jesse Hogan has had plenty of injury issues this year, and his rating has dropped completely. So he's gone from being number 1 or 2 key forward in 2024 down to 9 last year. Currently 42nd. He's certainly a lot better than that, but he's just struggling to put the numbers on the board right now this season. And Max Krzyzewski is number 4. 8 matches, similar sort of numbers as last year so far. Midfield next. And we got inside mids first up. Clayton Oliver's joined the club from Melbourne, and he's been super. As you can see there, his rating's gone from 41st best inside mid last year with a rating of 105 all the way up to number 8th highest rated inside mid with a rating of 126.3 as his average per game. He's been huge all year. He's barely had a moment of badness throughout the year so far. He's just been really good and consistent, and they certainly needed that, obviously, with the injuries that they've had in the midfield. He's come in and done a super job. Finn Callaghan's numbers have dropped a little bit from 18th best last year down to 30th so far. Dropped about 10 rating points. He was huge last weekend, though, against Melbourne. So we'll keep an eye on him. I think we'll see a good second half of the year from Finn. Toby Green has played early season a lot of inside mid time. A little bit more general forward probably over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Be interesting to see come the end of the year if he's rated as a midfielder or a general forward. His rating's gone slightly up from last year, but obviously last year he was rated, that says MI, he was rated as a general forward, sorry. Fourth best general forward last year. So far 39th as an inside mid. And Brent Daniels played 7 games. His numbers have been pretty solid so far this year. 46th best inside mid. Outside mids, we've got the big one, Harvey Thomas. His last month of football has been very good. His rating's gone huge as he's getting more ball time, I guess, midfield sort of time, and he's really making use of it. So he's been very good this year. Second best outside mid in the comp so far this year. Ryan Angwin, he's gone from 8th best outside mid, dropped down to 25th. So he has not put up the numbers that he did last year. And Connor Stone has only played the couple games, but shown some pretty good numbers this year in that position. So we'll see if he gets a better crack at it over the next 12 months or so. Rucks next. They haven't had much consistency in their ruck position. Obviously, Briggs has missed 3 games. Jake Riccardi is a forward ruck role. He does play quite a bit of ruck time compared to most in that position. But that's what he does. And then Madden's played 3 games. Lee has played 4. So Kieran Briggs' numbers dropped a little bit. A lot of ruckmen have. Pardon me. Sorry about that. That snuck up on me. He's gone up 2 positions from 17th to 15th, even though his rating has dropped a little bit. Jake Riccardi's also dropped a little bit from an 81 down to a 72. Nicholas Madden didn't play much last year, only played the 3 games this year, but showing some really good signs, and I think long term he's probably their ruck option. Lee Kalia, key defender last year. They've played him more ruck so far this year, and he's putting up okay numbers, certainly not bad ones. So he's a potential long-term ruckman as well, maybe. We'll see. Certainly hasn't been bad in that role so far. This is the players that haven't played a game yet in 2026. So a couple of these are obviously season-ending injuries. Darcy Jones, general forward last year, 24th best general forward. We haven't seen him, and I don't believe we're seeing him this year, so that's disappointing for him. Tom Green, same story, did his knee late in the pre-season. He was the 10th best inside mid last year, so imagine him, Oliver, and Finn Callahan running around that inside midfield together. That would have been exciting. Hopefully we get that next year. We'll keep an eye on that, but we haven't seen him yet. Josh Kelly, another one that we haven't seen yet this year. He hasn't been ruled out for the year, I don't believe. We haven't seen him yet, and we don't really have a time frame, I don't think. Cody Angrove's the other one that played last year that hasn't played yet this year. He was unranked last year. Didn't play much football, but did get a go at it. And then the players that didn't play last year and also have not played yet this year, Jack Oscar Taylor, Logan Smith, Nathan Wardius, Riley Hamilton, and Finnegan Davis. So that's all the Giants that haven't played yet this year. Moving on to what they have to come in 2026. The AR win percentage. It's just a little win chance based on the ELO rating system we do, who they're playing and where they're playing them, is basically the story here. And that gives us the expected wins and expected finishing position, which is those bottom 2 rows there. So round 13, they obviously have the bye this weekend. Come out of the bye, heading to Marvel Stadium, which is not a happy hunting ground for them over recent years. They've got St Kilda there, so that's going to be a really tough game for them. If they want to catapult their back half of the year, this is one that they probably need to win. But as I said, Marvel Stadium is not a ground that they play well. And they do travel there twice in the remainder of the season. Then they have Carlton at home. That's basically a must-win game for them. You have to think Carlton are playing a lot better, but if they want to play finals, the Giants, this is the sort of game they have to win. Same can be said the other way around for Carlton. Hawthorn, round 16 at the MCG. That's going to be a toughie. Fremantle at Manuka Oval is not going to be easy either. Fremantle are absolutely flying. Then Geelong at NG Stadium, another one that they will not be going in as favourites. Round 19 against the Bombers at Marvel Stadium, another game that they have to win if they're any chance of playing finals this year. Then they host Sydney, who are flying, so that's going to be a tough one. Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval won't be easy. Port Adelaide a little bit hit and miss so far this year, so that'll be an interesting game. Gold Coast they'll be hosting in round 22. Hopefully they can put up a good game there. Round 23 they host West Coast. That is another must-win for them. Obviously they only lost to West Coast a couple weeks ago, so they'll be looking to turn that around when they host the Eagles. And then they finish with Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval in round 24. That is a tough finish for the last week. So we'll keep an eye on how they continue to progress through the year. They've obviously, as we said at the start, got 6 wins, 6 losses. You're going to need probably 12 wins to play finals based on current projections to get into the top 10. 11 is a chance to get you there, but probably 12 maybe. Based on our numbers, they're down for 11.27 and finishing 11th. So they're going to be right there on the cusp. It's all going to be about these borderline games. If they can win the 2 coming out of the bye, St Kilda Carlton, then there's still a chance. If they lose either or both of them, then all of a sudden they're in a bit of a pickle, because the next 3 weeks, certainly after that, Hawthorn, Fremantle, Geelong are going to be tough. And then they've just got to make use of those opportunities. Essendon, Port Adelaide, Gold Coast, West Coast. If they can win those 4 plus the first 2 out of the bye, there's 6. That gets them to 12. That might be enough. But they're going to have to play some really good football in the back half, which they've shown over the last 2 weeks they certainly can. So we're not writing them off. Are we convinced they're back? Not really. We need to see what they're like in the back half. We need to... Obviously, they're missing players. That's not going to be changed. No Tom Green, no Darcy Jones. The whole Sam Taylor issue. Is he fit? Is he going to be playing in the back half? We'll have to wait and see. But my guess is at the moment that they're probably not going to quite make finals, but I'm not writing them off by any stretch. I currently have them finishing 11th. Anywhere from probably 7 down to 12 I could see them doing. As we said earlier in the episode as well, they do finish seasons off really well. Certainly they have the last 3 years. So you've got to keep that in the back of your mind. Going by that, beating Geelong at NG Stadium, not impossible. I think they beat them down at GMHBA last year, from memory. Hosting Fremantle at Manuka, not impossible. I do think they lost to Fremantle at home last year, but still. Sydney, you can't write them off in that. Gold Coast, you certainly can't write them off. And Adelaide, at Adelaide Oval, I wouldn't be writing them off either. They played a low-scoring game in Adelaide last year against them and only lost by like 16 points or so, I think, from memory, if I'm remembering that at all correctly. But that's enough rambling. That's the GWS Giants for 2026. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what you think of the Giants so far and how far you see them going this year. This has been another episode of the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that noti bell so you don't miss any videos. Don't forget to like this if you've enjoyed it. Also, let your friends know. Check out the podcast, 2 episodes every single week. Other than that, thanks for being here, and I will catch you on the next one.